Hello, it's Debbie Skyrme, Celebrant Spain, and this afternoon I'm off to a wedding and I'm taking along one of my Celebrants in Spain team with me. She's going to shadow me and she's learning today about the theatrics of a wedding, so I thought I'd share a few things with you. Now, the venue that we're going to this afternoon has a particularly long entrance, so from the venue to the altar space is particularly long. So what she's got to think about is music. Is the music sufficiently long for all of the bridal party to enter? If you're going to have a groomsmaid or a bridesmaid enter, and then another one, and then another one, and then the groom or the bridal party, is there enough music for everybody to enter? It's very, very important. You can't suddenly have silence, so you do need to time it. Now, traditionally, the bride will enter on her dad's right or her escort's right. Now that's just traditional. You can enter however you want to. Traditionally, as the celebrant is facing the guests, if you have a bride and a groom, groom's guests are on the left, bride's guests are on the right. But that's just traditional. You can mix it up. You're all one family, so you don't have to take sides. You really, really don't have to take sides. But that's traditional. So if somebody wants a traditional entrance, then that's what you're looking at. The ceremony this afternoon, they're actually going to enter at the same time, but from different sides. So that's absolutely lovely. We have a traditional kind of bride and groom scenario, but when do they want their first look? When does the groom first want to see his bride? Does he want to see her with this great long walk, or does he want to wait until she's a bit nearer to the altar space to have his first look? So you need to find that out. It's all part of the theatrics. Now, the guests. At this particular venue, I do know that the bride is entering from slightly below where the guests will be. So if they stand up, nobody's going to see anything. So from a theatrical point of view, it's up to the celebrant to decide when is the best time for the guests to stand up. In my opinion, for this particular venue, it's better if the guests actually stay seated. It's not disrespectful, it's just meaning that everybody actually gets the best view of the bridal party as they arrive. So it's all part of the theatrics and it's something to think about. And as a celebrant, if you don't tell the guests to stand up, they probably won't. Likewise, if you don't tell them to sit down, they're not going to. So once they have stood for the entrance of the groom's party or the bride's party, then you must find a particular point in your ceremony to tell them to sit down. Now, do you want everybody to sit down, or have you got now bridesmaids and groomsmen all waiting with you at the altar space? If you have, are they going to be standing with you throughout the ceremony? If you don't tell them to sit down, then they will stay standing. So again, as part of the theatrics, and it's something that you should really write into your script. You should think about this with your couple and you should talk to them about it so that they know exactly what's going on. Here in Spain, actually, grooms enter with their madrina. Their mother or their godmother or a female member of the family will escort the groom or the grooms to the altar space, and that's really rather a nice tradition. So if you do want to include mums in a ceremony, why not have them escort their sons to the altar space? It's really nice, it's really lovely. If you have a bride with a bouquet, she's probably not going to want to be holding that throughout the whole ceremony. It's not practical. I love to see my brides and my grooms holding hands at the altar space. So if there is a bridal bouquet, what I will do is I will allow for the photographs to make sure we've got some lovely photos of the flowers, because you've probably spent quite a lot of money on them. And then what I will do is I will either take the bouquet from the bride and put it on the altar table behind me, so again they're part of the ceremonial pictures, or I will pass them on to a bridesmaid. But again, that's something that's part of the theatrics that I will have sorted with the bride beforehand. Now here in Spain, it's very traditional for wedding planners to put 2 seats right in front of the altar space so that the bridal party, the grooms, the brides, are sitting with their backs to their guests. Now, if you are a bride with a very big dress, it's very difficult to sit, and B, your guests don't see your faces, and that's what they're there to see. They want to see emotion. They want to see your faces. So as a celebrant, what I do, I'm afraid, I have a chat with a wedding planner, or I just take the law into my own hands and I move the seats to one side. Unless we have a particularly long ceremony, and for my ceremonies that's rare. They're usually a maximum of 30 minutes because it's just too hot for anyone to be sitting in the sunshine here. I don't have my couple sitting down. My couple remains standing. I'm standing throughout the ceremony. They remain standing too. So if there are chairs, then I will put them to one side. They are optional there should the couple want them, but I don't have them sitting with their backs to their guests, never ever. I have them standing sideways on. So they're holding hands at the altar space. They're sideways on to me. They're sideways on to their guests. It's much better for the photographer as well to get great photos if the couple are sideways on, and it's easier for me to move out of the photographer's way too. Okay, when the couple are saying their vows or when they're repeating something after me, it's very important that I have a little word to them off mic to say to them, remember, you're saying these words to your partner. You're not saying them to me. So the temptation is for the couple to make eye contact with me. So I will very deliberately not make eye contact with them at this stage, so that they are then saying their words of commitment to their partner if they're repeating them after me, and they are not saying them to me. They're not marrying me, they're marrying their loved one, not me. The readings. We often include guests coming to stand at the altar space for a reading, a guest reading, something that we've chosen between us. It could be lyrics, it could be poems, it's something that reflects the couple's personalities, and the readers will come up. Now, to save having some scrappy piece of paper flapping all over the place, what I do is I print out the reading and I present it to them on a hardback folder, so that I will call them up at the right time and I will present them with the text that they're going to be reading. It looks far nicer on the photographs, and it's much easier to hold as well if it's hard backed. So again, that's another piece of theatrics that you need to think about and prepare for in advance. I've always got a spare ring just in case, and it's an adjustable ring, and I keep a spare ring with me because I have had occasions where I've asked the best man or the ring bearer for the rings, and you get that rabbit in the headlights look, and you're thinking, you haven't got it, have you? So these days I wear a ring that's very easy for me to take off, that I can just subtly pass to whoever it is that's forgotten the rings. And I have another spare one in my little celebrant purse, which I have right by the altar space. Weddings here, as I've said, between 25 to 30 minutes usually they average, so it all happens so quickly. So what I will do during the ceremony is I will try and slow things down just before they take their vows. I will get them to take a freeze frame moment. I'll get the couple to look around, have a look at this beautiful venue that they've chosen, and it's decorated just how they planned it would be, and you've got all these beautiful smiling faces of your guests, the people that love you most, that are looking back at you and wishing you well. And then I will tell them to forget all of that and just look at each other in the moment, because this is what it's all about. It's making a commitment in front of witnesses, and it's just the two of you, it's just the couple at that altar space. And as I say, at this stage, theatrically speaking, I step back out of the frame. Also, another point that I will definitely step back out of frame is the kiss. So when you have your big kiss moment, you will find that Debbie will have moved way back, so you haven't got me going chang chang in the background. You don't want that. This is a particularly intimate and special moment, and this is yours. This is all yours. Signing of a certificate, that's another theatrical piece. It's not a legal document, it's a commemorative certificate, and it's a lovely way to include some witnesses, other people that you want to have as VIPs within your wedding ceremony. When people come up to sign, I've got these lovely plumes that they use to sign the certificate, but belt and braces, I have also got some spare pens just in case. One of these days the ink will run out. It will run out. And I have got spares just in case. Okay, so that's another theatrical moment that you need to think about. As the certificate is being signed, I'm also thinking about two things. I'm thinking about confetti. If we have planned to have confetti, then I am making sure that people have got their confetti. Sometimes it's in little cones or a basket or something at the back of the ceremony space, and somebody has forgotten to give it out. Or it could be that now is the time for it to be given out. So I will signal to whoever's doing that they can now do this. And the other thing is, I'm preparing the couple for their exit. So we've signed the certificate. The next thing is just to have some closing words just to round off the ceremony, but I'm preparing them for their exit. So if we have a bride with a big long dress, for example, or a train, I will make sure that she's now facing back down the aisle and her train is now behind her. I will have asked for the bouquet from the bridesmaid, if that's where it is, or I will have picked it up from the table and given it back to the bride. But these are all theatrical things that you need to think about. If you don't think about them, they will not happen. So it's not just standing up there and repeating a script, is it? There's a lot to think about. And things go wrong. I don't think I have ever yet had a ceremony where something hasn't gone wrong. But nobody knows about it, or if they do, it's laughed off. So things will go wrong, and that's why I'm there. I'm prepared. I'm a professional, and I can make sure that I can recover from that, and it will go right. Well, after the wedding as well, I just need to make sure that the ceremonial certificate is given to somebody responsible, so that it's not lost. It's an important memento of a very special day. And what I will then do is I'll go and seek out the couple, and I will congratulate them personally and sneak in a little selfie, because that's what Debbie does. And then I will say my goodbyes and very quietly slip away. So that's all about the theatrics of a wedding. There's a lot to think about, and it doesn't come easily. It comes with practice, comes with a lot of practice. So if you've got any questions ever, then don't hesitate to send them to me. I'm info@celebrantspain.es. I'm at Celebrant Spain on all social media. Spain code is +34 698 691 582. You'll get me on WhatsApp. Or you can just reply in the comments here or PM me anytime. So if you've ever got any questions, don't hesitate to send them over to me. And if I can answer them, I will. So lots of love to everybody. I'm Debbie Skyrme, Celebrant Spain, and I'll see you all soon.